We are live. Welcome to the Prospects eRacing League Round 8 in Canada for Tier 2. I'm joined today by Just Real Gaming. What's going on, bro?
Hey, how you doing, Feldman? Guys, welcome back. I did say I was going to be here yesterday for Tier 1, but yeah, very excited to be back here.
Yeah, I was on hiatus last week, having to dig down on reviewing Gran Turismo 7, which has proved to be worth it. Now we're back in the driver's seat, no pun intended. Wait, yeah, there's a pun intended. Canada, one of my favorite tracks. It looks like Tier 1 yesterday ended up being run in the rain. Hopefully we avoid that today. Panda Man on the YouTuber. Got a couple new names in here I'm looking at. Just checking out. Got Pigmen Man. I'm just going to call you Pig. That's where we're going to be at. I see Dylan. Lesbo 9, Harris, Light Sessa. A couple new names popping up this week that I've missed out on. Do you know any of these guys?
Yeah, actually, some of them actually raced yesterday in Tier 1, doing an exceptional job, actually, getting themselves a little bit of extra, let's say, experience under their belt for Tier 1. But one person that we actually see as well that you might not recognize, RRL Drunk Pirate, is actually Captain Jack, our current Drivers' Championship leader, after getting that win. No, not win. He got second place at Portimao, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Captain Jack already played in head games to try and get that championship down the back end stretch of the season. So he must have really went in to change his username. PlayStation.
Wait.
It's never been big on that. If that's correct, is what you're saying.
Oh, no, I never mind. I was actually wrong. Leclerc is actually leading the way with Gilfie, and Captain Jack is in third. But he's still up there, and he's currently on a roll, getting first place back at Russia, second place at Portimao. Let's see if he's going to be getting a better result here tonight, and maybe get on that podium once again, making it a three-way podium consecutive.
So it looks like Arctic Penguin's out first, and yes, Captain Jack trying to play those head games. Kudos for sticking to the alcoholic pirate side of things for his naming convention, so that works out pretty nice. Right now, qualifying, everybody got 4 going on mediums. Currently on board with Arctic Penguin, who is on mediums, but these are just out laps. We got 17 minutes of qualifying, short quali. Got 20 people this week. Hopefully everybody makes it to the race and starts, because that first section is going to be tricky. Hopefully we get it clean through that section when we start the race.
It's going to be very, very difficult. If it's anything that we saw yesterday for Tier 1, it's going to be a very, very tough break for these drivers out on the track. But these drivers, some of them got the practice yesterday. Hopefully the rest of the drivers are able to get a little bit of practice here at Canada, because it's a very, very it's a tricky track, as it has a lot of precise cornering, especially in Sector 1.
Yeah, it's a lot of fast corners too. If you mess up at all, it's except for that first section. It's all about nailing the apex perfectly while keeping the speed together. Because if you slack off any, you can easily find yourself in the wall. As you see, Arctic Penguin gets sideways there.
A little bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 2 there, but
just a tiny.
Well, that makes me actually question if they're not, because what we saw yesterday, we saw that it was a completely dry qualifying session with heavy wet rain for the Grand Prix. So it just makes you question, do you think these drivers are going to be actually using a wet setup instead of a dry setup for this qualifying?
It really depends. I wish we had like a weather forecast or something like that. I don't know what it would benefit for the wet, because...
Oh. Sorry, I just saw it. T-Mouse. We got news from our weatherman, so to speak. Actually, Feldman. T-Mouse says dry quali, dry race.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So good. No worry about the wet. We're gonna have fun in what is one of my favorite circuits on the F1 circuit on the calendar, which has not been ran since 2019. They need to get their heads out of their butts, get back up to Canada. Things are open up there. Let's start doing this. But the first race of Montreal actually existed in 1979. Circuit dates back, or the Grand Prix of Canada, Canadian Grand Prix, dates back to 1961. What else you got for us?
So it's a very, very historic track here. I think with this track it's been pretty consistent on the calendar, as if I remember correctly, it was around, from its debut in 1978 to 2019, it's only been absent twice in the F1 calendar, so it's been pretty consistent of having an appearance here for the F1 calendar. But hopefully with that, it gives these drivers a little bit of experience here at Montreal, and hopefully we're going to be here for a good race. But so far, LZ Albo currently on the fastest of 109.903.
Yeah, so we can see the Astons are in the front row currently. It's a long session, so these guys are dipping their toes in the water here to see what they can get done. Drunk Pirate up there, a.k.a. Captain Jack, a.k.a. I have no idea. Rum. So we got 5 people set in right now with times, and Patty Pat's out!
Oh no! Right on the exit of turn 2 as well.
Yeah, last race that Patty Pat was a part of that I commentated, he showed up for about the first time, but here we are early on. He is parked. So we'll see what the likes of T-Mouse, Guelphy, Folksy, Owen, Boyer, the veterans, the series veterans will have. A couple big names missing. I don't see Leclerc out here. He's been fairly dominant most of the season. And teammate for Drunk Pirate, Captain Jack Sam Brooks, also remains, currently at 6. But a couple fresh faces from that Tier 1 trying to steal some of that spotlight from the Tier 2 regulars. Feels like NASCAR Cup drivers going down to the Xfinity Series and stealing away wins and races when there's a points championship happening.
But one thing, as me and Lemony Tang were talking about yesterday, actually, was that when it comes down to the qualifying sessions, and especially here in Canada, and we saw it actually appear multiple times over the qualifying session, it's going to go down to the nearest thousandths of seconds. If just to make up a position, it's going to be very, very difficult for these drivers. But one fun fact actually about the Canadian Grand Prix, actually, Feldman, it is in what it is like in the F1 game is actually not like this in the real life scene, to where the cornering, especially in Sector 1, isn't as sharp. Like turns 3 and 4, it isn't that sharp when it comes to the actual Grand Prix. So these drivers here tonight are actually giving themselves a little bit more of a challenge compared to the real life scene. So let's see who's going to be the one to tame the horns. But so far, Montreal has taken one driver out, and that's Patty Pat.
Currently on board with Folksy, who had the fastest Sector 1. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's getting out of Sector 2. Entering this DRS zone, going down to the sharp hairpin, the famous hairpin that's here. Basically put around this thing, hit the apex perfect like a golf cart. And then the long straight where you just unleash all that power from your ERS. Everything saved up. A lot of speed down here going by the lake. And you come into the chicane, or you can pit. Let's see if Folksy doesn't make me look like an idiot and actually sets a time here, as he's yet to set a time. He is. He's coming across through the chicane, across the line, and he will set. At some point in time, there it is. He takes second, 109.931 on mediums.
So far, 2 drivers breaking the 109 second barrier. Let's see if we can see this improve a little bit. As yesterday, we did see a few 108.9s, and one 108.4 being the fastest. But let's just see if these drivers can actually reach the 108s. But so far, the 109s have been breached. So
we got Guelphy, a championship competitor, is also posting fast times right now. He's fastest in Sector 2. He's on this backstretch as he's going around the Red Bull. See if he can compete, get in that 109 territory. Because it's going to take... It might take a 108.9 to win this pole. We'll see what happens here. Folksy might have something up his sleeve. But here we are with Guelphy across the line in the Doritos Williams, and he takes second, literally 3 1,000ths ahead of Folksy. Not much of a chance so far against Les Albo 9. You know, I'm going to keep calling him Les Albo. That's just what's going to happen. I don't know what else to do. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. I couldn't tell you. We're going to stick with that.
We don't know if Les Albo is a lesbian or not, but he does have a name for that, apparently. Well, but still in the Esteban with the fastest time of a 109.375. The only one that is close is actually Guelphy, as we just crossed the line as well. But it was actually unfortunate just now for Guelphy. He was actually already going 2 tenths faster on the exit of Sector 1, but just went over the curb a little bit too much in turn 6 and 7 right before the DRS end.
Yeah, the stewards can be real dicks. Michael Massey is having to pay the price for that right now. But on board currently with Light Sesso in the Alpha as he looks poised. He's actually fasted through Sector 2. A new name popping up again this week down here in Tier 2. Took a little bit wide, almost bumped the barrier. That's going to hurt his time. Coming up the stretch, the straightaway, not going to catch any type of slipstream from the guy in front of him. Cut that crap out. Don't ever say that again. He's pretty upset. Les Alvo, can't let me know the faults, bruh. Here we go. Is that Lizard? What did I just call you, Lizard? Across the line, Sesso sets a 111.537. Let's change it to Lizard. We'll edit the video, but we won't. Sorry about that.
We'll call. He's gonna. Someone has to give him a little bit of a $10 donation for to change his name to Lizard Sesso at this point, I guess.
Yeah, Sam Brooks, 2. Really fast coming with that chicane. He saw some wheel hop in there. Paige Bassett hanging out. We on it.
That chicane is where you see a lot of difficult lines to be made there, especially with it being called the Wall of Champions here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Of course, given by the name, a lot of big champions has crashed into that wall. And it just shows that with the Canadian Grand Prix, it doesn't matter where you are on the track, specifically that chicane right there, it gets the worst out of the best drivers. And funny enough, we didn't even see that many people crash into that Wall of Champions yesterday for Tier 1. So hopefully Tier 2 can also represent as well, as some of these drivers have been racing at Tier 1 yesterday.
Let's see, everybody's got a time set except for Miles. He crossed the line. That must have been his outlap, so he didn't get it. And then we got DY Land, the local area network, Dylan, on his outlap in the Ferrari. Ferrari has been very non-competitive in Tier 2 this year. It's not the car, but they always seem to get the short end of the stick. Back on with Sam Brooks, had a very impressive lap there as he hopped the curb. Able to save it. You know who's going faster there because of how they get. Folksy around through Sector 2. Try to see who's going to come across here. A couple guys are red lighted. A couple guys in the pits. Jonesy entering the pits. Boyer, he's red lighted. Not in it. Panda just said screw it and just kind of cut the track. Yeah. I guess he's messing around, so we'll go on board with Mouse here, but he's still in the red. He looks poised to make something here. Is it going to be Folksy? He's down the backstretch, still green. Not ahead anywhere so far. Coming into the chicane. Smooth, not quick, but smooth. Crossing the line. What's he got? Does he improve? Yes, he takes second. 109.513. Creeping up on the Lizard Albo.
Well done there to Folksy. Only behind by a 1/10.5. So it's very easy, potentially easy to make up that time. Just take a little bit more of that of the corners, gets on the throttle a little bit earlier, just trying to beat your time by thousands to hundreds and potentially tenths. But one person that still yet to put in a time, but is on a lap right now, is going to be X1 Dylan in the Ferrari, currently on a set of mediums, taking a pretty fast line here as he enters Sector 3 now taking this sharp hairpin of turn 11. And then the one strange thing about this is actually that slight left-hander right here is actually turn 12, so not much of a turn, but it is counted when it comes to the blueprints, let's say, of the track. But now towards 13 and 14, the Wall of Champions. We've seen a lot of drivers get missed up, and he invalidates right on that corner.
That's garbage, because that was smooth. I was about to I didn't say it, but in my mind, I guess I jinxed Ferrari. Is he going to be the one to bring them out of the gutter? But, yeah, he invalidated it. It was smooth. And we had PRL Owen with fastest in 2 sectors, and he invalidated. So, back on board here with Lizard Albo, not Lesbo. He's coming up the back stretch. He's got the flaps up, and so he's pushing here. Can he improve on that time? Such a long straightaway, you can make a sandwich.
He's going to be very, very close, but he cuts over.
Oh, he hit the wall. He's invalidated. He cut that corner pretty deep anyways. They didn't give it. So we still got 4 minutes left, plus the extra time here on board with Guelphy going through Sector 2. Well, this is going to be his outlap or not. We'll take a look at Captain Jack Junk Pryor. Haven't heard much out of him. Currently sitting 7th. Almost a 110 even.
But actually, the Alpine driver of Guelphy is currently improved by just under 2/10 into Sector 3. Let's see if Guelphy is going to be improving his time. Only has 2 corners left to reach the timing line, as Arctic Penguin just went up to 4th fastest. So is Guelphy going to respond to that as he keeps it in the track limits, reaches the timing line, and he's going to be setting a new fastest, a 109.751, goes up to 3rd fastest by 0.02 of a second off of Sam Brooks.
They're teammates. No, they're not teammates. Never mind. That's Brooks and
different blues.
Empire. Yeah. So Guelphy.
Oh, sorry, I did say Alpine for Guelphy, but yeah.
He's Doritos Williams.
Sam Brooks is in the Alpine, yeah. So that's my fault there.
Well, that is still rather impressive, but can anybody, is Folksy going to have it for the Lizard? Brooks is locked in. He's out. Brooks locked in.
Retired into the pit lane.
And he, just like that, falls to 5th. Might be too early for the dip out, but...
Yeah, and I'm looking at Harris. Looks like he's not really... Looks like they're not really getting used to the Canadian Grand Prix either. Going into the runoff area of turn 8 and 9 to let the drivers ahead of him through, but has another chance still. Two odd minutes left here for qualifying until we start the Grand Prix. 35 laps around the track, and a huge crash ahead of Harris with the Ferrari and Williams of Guelphy and HDE Baguette. What has happened there?
At the same time they wrecked T-Mouse, who I was going to say is quietly 3rd, hit the wall going through Sector 2. So this is all mixed up. It's going to be up to Folksy here. He's got basically 2 laps to beat and take that pole. But yeah, sad predicament there. Thankfully it's not in the race, but they might be able to get this fixed and get something out in time. Miles is out. He bailed.
Yep,
Harris is in the grass.
Well, I am so confused about what just happened there with Page, and I want to say Guelphy. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think it was Guelphy. I'm not too sure exactly what happened there.
Yeah, it's really hard to see it without getting a replay. It's like you got to catch it with somebody else's view at the right time.
Oh, actually, I'm looking at the Discord now. So it looks like Guelphy has a midfield. So it looks like he was the one that messed up Paige's time there, as she was just about to start a new one. And Guelphy was saying that he was trying to get off of the racing line there. Then they made a collision, and then now Paige has to be serving a 5-place grid penalty. Isn't only going to lose it by 1 position for the time being, as she is 19th fastest with a 111.879, but that is still a heavy hit there.
Folksy up in Sector 2 by 7/100ths of a second. He is pushing here as he's going down the backstretch. Sector 3 yellow. I don't know if he's allowed to pass anybody, but they're just slowing down, getting out of the way. Faster there, stays in the limits. Coming up to the start-finish line. Across that grid, and he takes first by less than 1/100th of a second. But right behind him is the Lizard going out of Sector 1 into the chicane. He's fastest in Sector 1. We got a balls-out drag race here to get this pole to start this Grand Prix. We're on board here. Lizard entering Sector 2, going through, hitting the other chicane. Is he going to be up ahead here? Where are we at? The timing is coming.
Actually, Owen has actually just creeped his way up to 3rd fastest with a 109.559. But still, actually exactly kind of what we saw back in Tier 1 yesterday with Lemony Tang. Folksy, actually no, not Folksy, sorry. It was one of the Red Bulls just stealing the fastest lap, stealing pole position by around a few thousandths of a second. In this case, it was 7 thousandths, but yesterday, I say it was around 2 thousandths, I want to say. But,
Lizard
yeah,
takes
so
the pole.
history repeating itself with LZ Albo stealing it back from Folksy with a 109.088. What a time there from Albo, almost creeping into the 108s.
I don't think there's going to be enough time for him to... Can he change these tires? He's got 2 minutes left. Nope, Folksy's locked in. He is locked in. He's retired. And we got Pickman's locked in. We are all locked in. Albo. Lizard Lesbo takes the pole. 109.088 on the final lap. Stealing it from Folksy, who stole it from him. So it's the double deuce. What do you call it? Double bubble? Fucking double bubble. PRO in the third. Team House in fourth. Who wrecked. Guelphy also wrecked in fifth. We got a solid top six in this race. It's time to go racing, boys.
Absolutely. Close times. You can actually probably put Arctic Penguin up there as well. As with Gilfie, Sam Brooks, and Arctic Penguin all setting a 109.7s accordingly. So an exceptional job. But that rounds up qualifying.
Yeah, this looks like this will be good. There is a lot of tight areas down the first half of this track. It's going to be this first lap's going to be interesting, but you had experienced them yesterday to see what happened, and these are a mix of Tier 1 and Tier 2. The cream of the crop will always rise to the top, so we will see.
But the only thing is, that's different, is that we have word that it's going to be a dry race. Where in Tier 1, it was wet from start to finish. It did start on the wets and ended on the intermediates, but it was still raining regardless. And we're looking at a dry start. So, it's anyone's game, and it's specifically for Tier 1 drivers reserving here tonight. It is them having a second chance to try and push their way up the pecking order.
Aston Martin looking to get some constructors' points here. Man, it always amazes me that the Alpines always manage to. Some of the best teamwork I've seen in any type of form of esports racing is the Sam Brooks and the Captain Jack Sparrow, Rum Pirate, Butt Pirate, whatever you want to call him. His dog, though, he's shown all year he's quite competitive, but he's sitting back here. Sam Brooks kind of stole the show for that team during qualifying.
Yeah, and I actually just saw it. So actually, Gilfie also got themselves a 5-place grid penalty after that collision with Paige Baguette. So both of them will be serving a 5-place grid penalty here for the race start. Paige is now at the back, right behind Dylan, who didn't even set a time in the qualifying session, not at all.
It's that curse of the red prancing horse this year in Tier 2. They just cannot. Don't know who they're choosing. Maybe they need a new director. But here we go. We got, what is this? Is it 35 laps? It's going to be a long race, but it's a pretty fast circuit. Again, fastest lap here is actually held by Valerie Bodas. Bodas of the 113.078 in the Mercedes. Well, that was last year, or the last time they raced here in 2019. Pole was actually held by Vettel that year in the Ferrari at 110.240. That's how long it's been since they raced here. Vettel was still in a Ferrari, and Leclerc.
Oh, wow.
The podium, the podium that year was Hamilton, Vettel, and Leclerc. So, what's that tell you? It's been a minute. Let's go back.
Oh, and actually, it looks like we already have 4 drivers being disqualified from the formation lap, and that's going to be Gilfie, Guitar Man, Light Setso, and Dylan. So it looks like Gilfie getting involved in practically 2 incidents before the race starts. So the FIA is going to have to be looking at that man at this race start. But all of them now on super cold tires, they're going to be flintstoning their way towards turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, we got a 2-stop or 3-stop strategy. You're going to go 3-stop if you want to double up on softs, 2-stop if you're going to make the long and the medium. I don't know, could a 1-stop with a hard do it? I don't think you're going to compete for a race. You might just be competing for points if somebody did that. But it never goes that way. There's going to be safety cars. Because if for some reason we go through one of these races and there's not an accident, I will probably get naked and run in my front yard because it just doesn't happen. So,
well, you bet. If that happens, you better live stream it.
I have to. Don't have a choice. I'll take a dump while I'm at it.
Like, who wouldn't want? Actually, hold on. I shouldn't say who wouldn't want to see that. I am straight. Come on, Justin. Use your brain here. I'm getting all flustered now with the idea.
No comment.
Looks like we're just waiting for the drivers near the back of Baguette and Panda Man to reach their starting grid lineup. And we're about to get this underway. The green flag is being waved, and we have to wait for the 5 red lights to start this Canadian Grand Prix.
I actually have to go to position 2 on my screen to see the lights because position 1 is too far over. Anyways, We have 35 laps. Green in the front, ready to go. They're shifting there. Anyways, here we go. And up. And we're off. Here we got Lizard. Oh, we got folks in the pressure on the outside tank. Sparks. He's got him. Getting under. We have Smooth through there. The Red Bull moving up as well on the outside. As I'm confident here. Folks, he takes a bold move here to get up ahead of the Lizard. T-Mouse in third after the wreck. Owen, Brooks, we're through.
That's an extraordinary start there from Folksy. A few near the back, bumping tires around turns 1 and 2, almost going 3 wide on the outside as well, as we saw a few overtakes near the middle and the back, as we did see Dylan now up to 16th, so already improved by 4 positions off at the starting line, and it's now looking on Patty Pat around the outside and hits the wall. A little bit of front wing damage potentially for the Ferrari driver, but still keeps it on the track, dealing with an amazing start there.
Oh, we got some contact going into the hairpin. Both drivers able to save it between Owen and Brooks. But here comes the Red Bull from Owen trying to bounce back and get ahead of Brooks here. Obviously, first lap, no DRS. Look at that. We got battle for the lead here. On the outside, the Lizard elbow. Ah, good defense. What a bold move. Unbelievable bold move to force his way in. Into the lead, took him to the outside. That's going to be controversial. I feel like that was a deep push, but it was clean. What a ballsy pass.
I could only dream of having balls that large to try and make that move. But LZ Albo takes back the race lead off of Folksy as he leads lap 2. An amazing overtake there. Gonna go down to the stewards potentially, but so far it's been clean all over the board.
Put it this way, that's the wall of champions, and Albo is putting splattering his name all over that wall right now. What a gutsy ass. I'm losing my mind here. That's insane. Anyways, the two have separated away from Owen as Arctic Penguin with another time penalty. Something he might as well get tattooed on his arm. He gets a lot of those anyways. Penguin is running in 5th, but he's got that penalty. Cruising around the hairpin there. Sam Brooks trying to get some movement here on Owen. It's Folksy's back up. They're going for it again.
He's going to give Albo a taste of his own medicine and doing it before the chicane. And Folksy takes back the lead. Back and forth battle between these two drivers. As now the first 2 drivers to make a pit stop is going to be Arctic Penguin and T-Mouse. After lap 1 for T-Mouse, after lap 2 for Arctic Penguin.
Albo. Folksy did not force his way in the way that Albo did that first time, but we have excellent racing. But two contenders for this race. One's not a full-time racer in Tier 2. The other one has been he's been solid racing this year, but hasn't really competed for a win that I can remember. But I've missed like 2 races. Owen and Brooks are sneaking back up slowly. DRS looks to be open.
Yep, those rear flaps will be wide open into these corners. As Light says so, actually does not battle out with Page there. Does he have front wing damage, actually? Yes, he does. Light says so. Actually has a lost right end plate on that Alfa Romeo and doing the commendable thing, not trying to battle out with the driver after having damage on that vehicle.
Folksy trying to break the draft, but it's not going to matter. Still, I guess it did matter because he was able to protect. He broke the draft early. Albo could not close.
Albo gets a little bit of a slide on the exit, and that could be giving Owen an opportunity to dive on the inside, but Owen has to yield. That would have been too ambitious for him. Patty Pat makes their way into the pit lane as well. Does he have front wing damage? Yes, he does. Going for a set of mediums now for the McLaren driver. But as it stands now, we have a huge battle for that 5th place, including around 8 drivers, if I'm counting that correctly, of Pigment Man, David Boyer, all the way down to Drunk Pirate of Captain Jack.
Pigman definitely is the cutoff point for the top contenders in this race. You see 1 through 4. He's 2.5 seconds back from Sam Brooks as we're going to start getting this DRS train going here.
It looks like near the back now we're going to be having 2 more contenders for that battle for 5th place as well. Oh, and Captain Jack has spun around turn 9 as he has. Does he have front wing damage? I can't see. The camera angle's a little bit messed up here.
Yeah, it's in like the worst spot.
Yep.
We got Folksy going back around. We got Albo going back around. Next side by side, trying to almost enter the wall of champion chicane. But Folksy had to give up just an inch. He's trying to rebound here. He's going to force the issue into turn 1. He's going under. There's nothing there. Going around the carousel here. Boy, these two, can they keep this up for 30 more laps?
We have another spin. We have another spin with Jonesy. As it looks like Jonesy rejoins the track. Actually, is that Jonesy? No, who is that?
Jonesy has no front wing.
Oh, no. Okay, so it was Jonesy. Looks like Jonesy got a spin.
Oh! We got boys! Someone hit the wall! Harris hit the wall hard!
Oh, yeah, but you can see the car right in the middle of the track. That's going to be a definite safety car.
Yeah, we're out.
But very unfortunate for Harris, as it's only the start of this race and actually reserving for Leclerc. But very unfortunate for Harris. It looks like he was able to get out of that McLaren and being guided now by the marshals and going to go into potentially an ambulance just to see if he's going to be okay. But Harris now taking an early leave out of this race as he finishes now in last place.
I apologize for not having the tire telemetry up. You can see back half of the pack, ninth through last, basically on mediums, as Drunk Pirate, Captain Jack, they come back out in softs. What any of these leaders? These leaders are pitting, so they going for 3-stop then?
Potentially, Albo is going to exit out on a set of mediums, but with those drivers starting on a set of mediums, like Dylan, Crew Steamers are now going to take the lead of this race, and same potentially with Guitar Man Khan. Unless Albo is able to exit the pit lane in time, he's going to be very close to that line, but Guitar Man going to be just ahead of Albo at the safety car restart up to 3rd.
Yeah, you're looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th as the potential leaders, but I would assume about the 5 laps on those mediums, and then maybe these. No, they actually all went mediums. The initial Amazon tire strategy thing, which is probably always wrong, if they were doing 3-stop, they were going to do start on softs, pit on mediums, and then pit on mediums. So they're all going to mediums now. I'm thinking it's going to be 2-stop.
Yep. And there you go, Drunk Pirate of Captain Jack. He is going to exit out of the pit lane now with a set of mediums. We have yellow compounds all over the board here. 3 up the front started on them as well. Paige Baguette also being one of them in 8th, started on those set of mediums. And with Arctic Penguin, T-Mouse, and Patty Pat being one of the early pit stoppers earlier on before the safety car, now it has around 4 lap old mediums now.
Ferrari, the furthest up it's been all season. Baguette, 8th. Dylan, 2nd. No RL Beast this week. We got Cruise Streamers currently in the lead. We'll have to see how well they can hold off. The only thing that would help them that could really change it up is if we have another safety car in the next 5 laps where everybody pits again. But we'll have to see. It's going to take about 2 to 3 laps for the fresh mediums to get up to spec. And the top 3 drivers already are there, but they're of course going to see the condition go quicker. They'll probably get another 8, possibly to add 8 to 10 laps out of those mediums before they just really fall off. But these top 3 guys are banking on another safety car, which is, 3 times out of 4 it's probably going to happen. So.
I mean, I do think that's going to happen, especially if we still see the battle between Albo and Folksy, as they've been doing a very, it's pretty high-risk moves between the 2 drivers, especially at the Wall of Champions. Very, very difficult to get overtakes, but we have seen them do it time and time again, but are they going to be able to continuously keep that consistency and make those battles keep on going at the Wall of Champions? Because we could be looking at one of them being taken out of this race because of a desperate move.
Now, the difference now is they didn't have traffic before. They've got traffic in front of them now. Now, if they can get around that traffic and hold their, cool their jets until they get around that traffic, open things back up, that's going to be the key. If they try to get ballsy now, they take out half the field, we're going to have an issue. So.
Well, there's the race control. FIA has spoken. The safety car is going to be in this lap, and Cruise Steamers is going to be leading this safety car restart as the safety car now makes its way into the pit lane. And where would you think would be the most optimal point to take that restart?
You back him up before that chicane and then get through there as quick as possible. But he did it a little bit earlier than I thought. But either way, we got Dylan right on that butt. He's coming. Coming early. That's what she said. Coming up the inside, trying to force his way. Oh, we got side-by-side action. Terrible camera view. Oh, switcheroo there.
Same with Albo. Oh, it gets a little bit of a slide on the exit. We're looking at 3 wide for third place.
Good God.
Albo, Folksy, Guitar
Good
Man.
God.
Guitar Man and Folksy forced to back out of that battle, and Albo pushes his way up to third. And that's what I'm saying. These drivers taking some seriously dangerous moves to try and make up some positions. But it's good to see, to be honest with you, because they're keeping it nice and clean out on the concrete too.
This is Albo. He's loud. He's
loud.
He's aggressive. He's a monster. Folks,
I actually like that now. That's gonna be his new name.
My dog doesn't know what's going on right now. Crew streamers, we got a train going here. It's spaced out. Albo gonna push it. Loud, trying to go up the inside here with Dylan again. Gonna be back and back. Boy, he's got some speed on that Aston. Folksy trailing. Owen eyeballing. Going early here, can't do it. Single file through the carousel. Where's he gonna? He's gonna force his way here again.
Oh, Guitar Man and Sam Brooks are going to go side to side around turn 2. Sam Brooks, even though on the outside, just couldn't get the traction early enough, as he's still trying to bite and try and see if he can find an open space. We have a yellow flag from what it looks like, but it's probably just to build up with cars through Sector 1.
I see Cesso, he's in the pits. I just saw somebody stopping the track. Anyways, back at the top here, yeah, these two up front all are doing a decent job defending. But Lowell's looking to do what he's got to do whenever that DRS zone opens. He's going to the inside here. Good defense from Dylan. Oh, coming in hot! It's Folksy.
Folksy! That was very, very close. Almost hitting the diffuser of the Aston Martin of Wow. But I can't even take myself seriously.
Wow. Here comes the train. Choo-choo in the wall of champions. They're just single file. All smooth.
It's like Yoshi where he sticks out his tongue.
Take a look back. Simster in that top 10. Guitar Man kind of falling off. Oh, he got her out! He got her out!
Albo, what an amazing overtake on Dylan there into turn 1, taking that excessive dive on the inside of turn 1, but was able to stay on the track, parking it on the apex and keeping that second place. Now it's going to be eyeing down Cruise Steamers.
And there goes Folksy.
Folksy's going to try the same thing, but Dylan defends and holds onto that podium position.
Go for lead. Folksy cannot afford to let, and he gets around him. Folksy cannot allow. What a tight pass by Lau. And Folksy cannot afford to have that distance separate because old Lau will run away with this shit. So he's got to catch up and get around this traffic. Boy, I've not seen precision from a driver. I've seen dominance. But just the moves he makes can be considered reckless, but he ain't messed up yet. I guess you can't be considered reckless until you actually wreck. But if you're reckless, that means you wouldn't have wrecked. That's like being undefeated, right? That's like being winless, but you wouldn't win.
I think it has different meanings, but now Albo, or sorry, I said his name wrong. Lau is having a lead of around 1.5 seconds now, and you can see the time just increasing.
That's the problem. Folksy's got to get through this traffic. Otherwise, it's going to be ball game unless something happens. 10 laps on those tires for Crew Streamers and Dylan.
Yep, so now Folksy is really going to be working overtime, trying to get to that second place and try to get up to Albo. But now with the DRS, it's going to be potentially able to make it now. But Crew Streamers is giving him a hard time.
Nothing there.
Nope, but Owen actually was able to get an overtake, moves up to 4th place.
Yeah, that DRS zone in Sector 2 is one of those bullshit DRS zones. It's not a great... You're not going to pass through there. This is where it opens up at. Gets a good run off the corner. Already almost 3-second lead for Lyle going down the backstretch. Here comes the train, though. Folksy's got to get around him here so he can make a run. And he goes to the inside. So he got possession, cuts in front. Entering Wall of Champions, Walls of Jericho. Now he can focus his mind and his time on that leader. Time is closing in. Flaps are still open.
Owen
came around.
Into the podium positions now. Goes up to 3rd place now. But this is the thing as well. Folksy, even though we'll be having to eye down the Aston Martin that's a few turns ahead of him, he will still have to keep his eyes on those mirrors, as Owen is really trying to keep up with Folksy. But I think Folksy is the faster driver out on the track for the time being.
We'll bring up the lap data for Folksy, see where he compares with the leader. Right now, 2.3 seconds behind to see if he gets some gains here. He's going to have to really push this. Obviously, we're not even halfway through this race yet, but in terms of having a chance to win this, I also think Owen is a sleeper to win this race. Because if anything happens with these two, with the aggression that they've had, clearly he's going to be there to swipe it up. So,
well, just like everyone back at home and with us in the comms box, we're just going to have to wait and see as we're now entering lap 13 out of 35.
Trying to see everybody just running 3 DRS trains apiece going down that backstretch. No passes. Folksy, though, can you push it into these corners and brake late and get a good exit? Not really getting any time right now. Lowell still leads this. 7 laps on those tires. 12 laps for Crew Streamers and Dylan, who will start to fade as they lose grip here in the following laps. Safety car now would really shake things up. Not saying wreck, but it would just shake things up.
Yep, and looks like we have 2 early pit stoppers of Arctic Penguin now exiting out on a set of mediums, and Guitarman actually coming out on a set of softs. And I don't think those softs are going to last the rest of this race. He's going to really have to nurse those set of rubbers to make them last. Right. But he exits out now, 22 laps to go here at the Canadian Grand Prix.
It's starting to go a little bit. Dog's barking at nothing for some reason. I have no idea why. Just disregard that. Sam Brooks kind of...
probably just supporting Lalu up in the lead.
Yes, Sam Brooks not having the best of days. Neither is his teammate...
Three wide!
Oh, damn!
Into the World Champion!
Side by side!
Oh, desperate times call for desperate measures. And Dylan and Sam Brooks make their way up the fourth and fifth. With Crew Steamers now down to 7th.
Well, that was happened to catch it at the right time too. It was already on Sam Brooks on the broadcast, but
oh, there's a collision! There's a collision with Simster and David Boyer. As the exit around turn 3, we're trying to go side by side, but Simster, not given the space whatsoever, pushes David Boyer off of the track. But David Boyer was able to save it and not go into the wall. He continues in 9th place.
Yeah, a lot of action in this track. It's really impressive that I called this a narrow track through sectors 1 and 3 on the front stretch of this thing. But you're seeing these moves being made that I've not seen all season. You know, it's not just laudable. It's people mid pack going side by side in these corners that are tight and fast. You have to be precise. If you're confident, you can also be too confident this track and end up in the wall. Oh, we got a penalty for Albo. It's time to shake it up.
He's had a 3-second time penalty earlier on in the race. I think it was around lap 11 or lap 10 that he got those invalidated times, invalidated track limits, I should say. Sorry, but we actually do have one person that got into the pit stop, and that's going to be Jonesy. Looks like there is something wrong with the Formula One car, maybe a wheel disconnected or something. But is now out of the race, and those engineers are going to be very, very busy for their Mercedes for next week.
Yeah, the teammate to Folksy definitely he's got no team help on this, as if it mattered. He was at the back of the pack anyways. Folksy's on his own. As we can see, we got about half the field now has time penalties because everybody's trying to cut the track. But the most important time penalty is Lizalbo. He's got a 3-second, which technically would put Folksy as well. Now it wouldn't put Folksy as the winner, but we got 20 laps to go, and pit stops are due to happen. And so far, no more safety cars. So
pretty clean racing that we've been seeing all over the field. Even though there's been a few like very, very desperate moves for overtakes and battles, especially at the World Champions, but they're able to keep it clean. A nice dive into the hairpin for
Pigman
on page.
Pigman, and we got contact from the rear from Crew Streamers. Pigman with the move into turn 1. Got an outside pass here almost for Simster. He did clear it, so he takes that position on the outside of the carousel, going to the chicane, looking pretty quick. Trying to run down the Ferrari of Dylan, who got passed by the Pigman. So we've got these aerial shots here.
And you can see, actually, Simster has saved up a little bit more ERS than Dylan. You can see the flashing red lights off of the back of the Ferrari for the recharge. So that could be giving Simster potentially an indicator that he could potentially take that position in the later coming corners. But now they're making their way towards the hairpin and has to settle right behind Dylan for 7th place for the time being.
Unfortunately, these top 4 have not made up any time. There's nobody for them to slipstream off of. There's nobody to catch the DRS, so it's been pretty even here for about 5 laps. But the thing is, Zalbo is not pulling away. He just has that penalty, which could cost him this race.
Oh, I think this is where Simster is going to try and make the move. Both him and Dylan on DRS into the carousel, turns 1 and 2.
Got some contact!
Pushing Dylan, just forgetting that Dylan's there on the inside, not giving the space. And Simster moves up to 6th place with a little bit of contact, probably looking at potential side pod damage for the Ferrari.
He's still got 2 outside passes there around that carousel, which I guess would still be the faster section technically. But it's a long way around that corner based on this design. But he's made 2 passes, 2 overtakes in the last 2 laps on that. And he is on some fresher tires, but everybody's about the same here, which we'll probably be looking at pit stops by lap 20 if nothing happens.
Yeah, I think these drivers will probably push to maybe even 25 and try and last around 10 laps for a set of softs. But they still have 8 laps left to go for the a potential pit stop, or probably even 3 if they go on lap 20. It's just whatever Jeff says.
It'll be the again the creamer to crop rising to the top if that can happen, because when that goes away, if you can keep up pace and maintain grip, you are definitely a good driver. So as we run right now, go through the order. Lizalbo is in first, Folksy in the Mercedes in second, Pierlo Owen in third, Sam Brooks in fourth, Pigman in fifth. 2 new drivers this week for Aston. Simster in 6th, who's made some moves here in the last couple laps. Dylan in the Ferrari to fill in, 7th. Boyer in 8th. Guelphy in 9th, which is actually a good rebound from where he started this race. Same can be said with Drunk Pirate, who was Captain Jack, currently sitting in 10th in the points. Patty Mayonnaise has crawled back up. He's 11th. T-Mouse, bad, not a great way after the race started, down in 12th. Crew, Penguin, Khan, Spaghetti, Panda Man, and Cesso rounded out as Cesso comes into the pits. And we got some moves being made here. Folksy is now within the 2nd and a half. And we got a pit stop!
Albo's in the pit lane. Albo's in the pit lane. Oh, and Art Penguin is crushed out.
Oh, that's what does that mean for Lau? What is that? If he's in there, he's going to come back out in the lead, isn't he?
I don't think so.
Because if everybody pits, he already pitted. Drunk Pirate, 5-second penalty for running into Patty Mayonnaise. Something's out here. Must have been in the pit. I have no idea what happened there. So Folksy's still out in the safety car. He's got to pit. If they want to win, if Folksy or Owen want to win this race, they've got to pit now. The problem is, Lizalbo just got the biggest break of the race as he's on softs. if everybody pits. And I'm going to tell you right now, current first through fifth is going pit.
Oh yeah, hands down. I don't see them staying on those set of mediums for the rest of this race.
This dude
Because
lucky.
it's been a while.
This guy's lucky as hell.
Well, I'm not too sure though, because the thing is, he would still have to respect the delta. So if Folksy makes it into the pit lane right now, no, Folksy did a fake move. He actually faked me out there.
No, Folksy's in the pit now, and Owen, they're all in the pits. Lizalbo was able to pit and take this lead back, but he still has that penalty. But yeah, I agree. If somebody comes out and he can't make it around, I thought he had some less time to give up. Is he out of the pit? It's a drag race here almost. They're coming down.
Much. As we're seeing,
that enters out and dumps out in the carousel though. Oh god, this is gonna be tight.
No,
oh, you got it.
Folksy's got it, and Owen getting the under. Oh, and actually.
Sam Brooks.
Oh, nope.
No, he gave it back up. He gave it back up.
So yeah, so it looks like if Elbow stayed out, even with that front wing damage, would have been in the lead for the safety car restart, but entered right after Arctic Penguin. Well, actually, right before I should say Arctic Penguin crashed out for the safety car to come out. So unfortunate for him there.
Here's the thing, interesting strategy here. One, we'll give credit to the three people that took hards, but folks, Owen went mediums. They don't plan on pitting again. Albo will have to pit. There's 15 laps left. Laslal will have to pit again. He's on softs now, which can, if he can get around them, will give him a good lead. But Folksy and Owen are in this thing to win it. I don't know why the guys went on hards. I don't think 15 laps. Especially with the safety car, especially if they get 2 more laps out of the safety car, those mediums will take him at the end of the race.
Yep. So it is going to be close, but now it's all eyes on Albo coming out on a set of softs, and it's going to be tough for him to make those last because especially with those oh, it looks like Sam Brooks mistimed his braking zone on the back of Albo. I don't know if there was a collision there, but I saw a little bit of debris onto the track. But it looks like Sam Brooks is able to stay out for the Alpine. But as I was saying with Albo, with those set of softs, it is going to be getting a few free laps with the safety car, and waiting for Panaman Gaming, Baguette, and Light Sesso to catch up with the pack. It's going to be tough for them, mainly because it's they're going to be screaming, especially right behind those mediums. Those softs are going to be working even harder. So if I was Albo, get those overtakes as soon as possible.
Yeah, I said shenanigans between Brooks and Albo. We got a sabotage going on. They bumping. It's going to take out that rear diffuser. It's going to mess with their aerodynamics. Gotta need that clean air. So... yeah, interesting shakeup here. The top 5. Pigman sneaking in. Currently 5th. Go around the long hairpin here.
Oh, I'm actually looking at this now. Dylan is the only one on a set of hards.
They repitted. There were 2 guys. There were 2 people on hards. They must have came back in and heard what we said and went back to mediums. Because I want to say it was Panda Man, and I want to say it might have been... it's probably Panda Man and Sesso if those are the 2 in the back, or it might have been Baguette. But going with the softs is pretty bold because the ones in softs are banking on another safety car. And honestly, the rate... The rate the safety cars have been in this race based on the math and the analytics, which I'm just saying fancy words, but basically they've been spaced out and they haven't been frequent, and I think that we can make it to the end of this race without another safety car.
Well, it's going to be a tough order for these drivers, but Cruz Steamers now was around 4 lap of softs and now pitted for another set of softs to end the race on. So it's gonna be tough, but I think the safety car is gonna be in this lap. and we're going to be looking at around 13 laps left here at Canada.
Yeah, bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that works out. Feels kind of pointless, but maybe, who knows? He's in the back now. He's got a long way to go, but as to the guys up front, the three in the top three are the contenders to win this race. Sam Brooks and Pigman are outsiders. It's possible they could do it. They'll inherit the lead if these three end up taking each other out. But don't forget, Lizaldo still has a 3-second time penalty. So he has to win this race by 3 seconds to actually win this race. He's at a disadvantage right now. That's why he's trying to get those softs.
Oh, actually, no. Albo's on 6. He's on 6 seconds.
I don't think
I
he's
just saw
gonna. He's not. He's got to have the softs. Then he's got to get by him. He has to pull out to a monstrous lead and hope that he can maintain that gap. Because right now, we are off going into a wall of Jericho. Clean section for Folksies. He's actually kind of. Oh, he bumped the wall, his elbow.
He got a little bit of a slide there on the exit, but was able to keep on the track, and is now going to eye down both Folksy and Owen. Earlier on in this race, Folksy was actually for the majority of this race was behind Albo.
Albo with the move to the inside, not blocked.
Good defense there from Owen, and this is exactly what Folksy wants. He wants Albo to make battles. Oh, and there he goes.
How? Well, seriously, how? I just don't think that was possible by physics. The fact that he was able to whip that in and maintain grip, he's on the softs, but damn.
Yep, that's the power of the red compounds, baby. But now has to keep up the pace against Folksy, and he needs to make an excruciating lead of 6 seconds to win this race. But 13 laps to go, it's a very, very tough ask for a driver.
Them softs will basically run out at those 13 laps. I mean, if he's that good, and he has shown today he is that good, he can make those last and maintain the gap mark. On the back end, looks like Boyer's trying to make a move there, but that's a train. He's coming up kind of fast to the wall of champions. Did not make anything there. Folksy with the fastest lap so far, 1:12.80. Zalbo.
I really don't know, because this is going to be very close. Currently, I'm actually going to watch this. So Albo is now currently 1.4 seconds behind Folksy. I'm going to give it one lap, and I'm going to say where we could be potentially seeing a striking distance for Albo.
So not only that, Albo would basically at this point have to get around him this lap and then gain an advantage of a half a second per lap, which he could do that for the first half of what's left. But that second half, he will lose those tires. A little bit of oversteer there for Albo as well. But the fact is, he is not within DRS zone. DRS is not open yet, I don't believe. Folksy just could kind of coast this home. Might not even have to finish in front to win this race. And Owen might still get that. It's very possible Albo doesn't even finish on the podium. If that's 6 seconds, in all honesty, he might not finish in the top 10. But we'll see how this spaces out.
We're going to have to wait and see. Gets a little bit of a slide on the exit. And that's going to be losing him a few tenths now. As you can see, Folksy improving on his fastest lap at a 1:11.759. But I don't think I think this is Folksy's race to win. And even if Albo passes Folksy does have the pace with those set of mediums to stay within DRS distance.
I think Albo needs to let Owen pass him by, but Owen is just outside of DRS now. If Owen could have got by him, then he could have slipped straight back off of Owen. He could have caught Folksy. But unfortunately, he's pulled away from Owen, but he's not catching Folksy. So,
yeah, I really don't know if he's going to be able to do it. You can see the gap increase and decrease with every single corner. But
Patty hit the wall there for a second, by the way. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, Folksy here on the straight. Let's see if Alba, maybe he's saving up energy. Got that red flashing light, which for some reason I thought was always a rain light.
Hold on. We had an incident with Patty Mayonnaise, and he has lost his left end plate for Patty Pat. Looks like he had a little bit of a battle with Qatar Mankind, and now Patty Pat is going to shoot into the pit lane for a new front wing. That is very unfortunate for the McLaren man. Trying to get a good result, just like back at Russia, and it's just not providing right now. So it's gonna be, and that's what I was saying. Paddy Pat is a pretty experienced contender in PRL, and with Canada, it takes the worst out of the best drivers out here.
Speaking of worst out of the best drivers, Dylan on those hards got passed by 3 different drivers in the Wall of Jericho. So, yeah, Guelphy, Pirate, and Mouse all got by Dylan through that one sector. There we are back on board with Lazalo, and still not making up any time, and he keeps separating. Brooks got around Owen at some point. Must have been that DRS zone, but this should open back up here. Owen as the flaps are open for Owen, but we get a train behind him with Pigman and the Pigman train, Simster, all coming up, and nothing's going to be done on there as Brooks is sitting in 3rd now, will potentially finish 2nd.
Well, he just needs to keep the pace, but now the gap between LZ Albo and Folksy is now down to 1.2 seconds. But at this rate, he's not going to be able to get those 6 seconds. He needs to pick up the pace, take a little bit more risks, because he already put himself in a difficult situation where taking a risky move is the only option at this point for him to take the race lead.
So you're saying he should take out the leader to win this race and then take out the other guys? Okay.
No. I'm not saying controversial risks. I'm talking about, like, potentially just going aggressive with it, just using those rubbers a little bit more aggressively on the track.
There's always a plan B, but now he's within a second. If he can creep it, we got something here. He's going to be able to open it up. He's within a second. Does he cross the line at a second, though? He does not. It was so close. And you see Folksy trying to break that draft. That's only going to affect his time. Zalbo's coming, but again, the penalties. It's not going to matter in the end.
But you can see he is getting desperate now, using all of his ERS battery, as we have a crash with Team Else in the Wall of Champions. Is that going to be a late safety car in this race at Canada?
Nothing yet. Stewart's not taking a dump yet. It doesn't look like it. Must be it's out of the way. There's no safety car. We're still green. Stay green.
We're still green. And there you go. The marshals are able to get Team House off of the track as quick as possible, and that prevented the safety car. Those marshals working double time here at Canada, but Team House is now out of this race. Very unfortunate for a man. And Albo gets another 3 seconds. Now has to make up a 9-second gap for the race lead.
We'll take a look back here at 3rd, 4th, and 5th since Albo is not going to have it. This is basically in the back of Folksy. Disappointing run, but you try to cut those corners like he's cut it. This is what happens. Welcome to the big leagues, brother. You got to get your shit in order. Owen trying to go by Brooks here. Flaps are all open on this train, but Brooks keeping the distance. Owen trying to close nothing there. Wall of Champions. A little bit of a hop from Pigman there. Trying to go to the inside of Owen. Is he going to get the position here?
He is there. He has to get the space.
Did he cut that corner, though? That was tight. If he didn't, he gave it back. Still on the outside. Wow, they're side by side here. Now he's behind him. Tucks in behind going into the chicane. Kind of cut that corner a little bit at turn 1, but obviously it wasn't enough to affect a penalty.
But Pigman Man there still pressing on. Realizes that his teammate of LZ Albo has ruined his chances of winning the race. Now Pigman Man trying to get as many points as he potentially can. Will be losing a position to Simster, but still pressing on and trying to battle out with the drivers up ahead of him.
Yeah, we got Owen here still trying to close in. We're about to enter another DRS zone. Also, rain is possible at the end of the race. We have like 5 laps left.
Oh, we have a car that's spun around the track, and that's going to be Guitar Man Khan. Looks like the Red Bull driver is just not having a good ending here at Canada.
He hasn't had a very good season either, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate, but I mean, next week is still another day technically, but and that's all he needs to do. Just try and improve in the next race, but for the time being, it's going to be out of the points, and Doesn't look like any sort of attempts to get back into it.
Well, checking in here, the battle for the podium. Because Laszlo will not finish second. But Brooks, Owen, Pigman, and Simster all at like an even pace here. They can't seem to get around one another. Pigman did get around, I believe, Simster at some point, or he pushed Owen. Patty Pat somehow the fastest lap.
Drew Stevens has crashed down. That's a virtual safety car.
So this will bring it closer. It's not going to help Alba.
It's been upgraded. Oh, what have we just witnessed? What have we just witnessed, Feldman? A last-second crash with Crew Steamers at the same part of where Team House crashed at the Wall of Champions, and that brought out the safety car. We could be only looking at around
you don't pit.
2 or 3 laps.
You don't pit. Sorry, you don't pit. They're making a mistake.
Yep, Sam Brooks is not going to take the lead.
You don't pit. So, no. Folks, he might just cost himself the race. You don't pit here. To me, you don't pit. Sam Brooks inherits the lead. Simster and Guelphy. Guelphy, who, great qualifying session, and then just like fell face first into the floor, is now currently sitting third. Again, we look at, where is he? Zalbo still has the penalty as he can't serve it. Yeah, Folksy comes back out in fourth. That's a lot of cars to get around. It will probably only be 2 laps. I don't know how bad that accident was, but I got a feeling the safety car is going to be out for at least to lap 33. We're down to 14 people left in this race. That's it.
But it's still, I would say this is still a good result. Because in Tier 1, we were down to half of the grid. Like only around, I think it was around either 10 or 9 drivers left in the race.
Well, it ain't over yet.
We still have 14 drivers, and if someone crashes out, there's not going to be any sort of safety car to save the drivers around them. Because this is the final laps of the race here in Canada for Prospects Tier 2.
Yeah, I'm not really sure it's going to play out. But right now, it looks like Sam Brooks, they can hold off. Yeah, those tires are old, but they're in a position. That's why they took those mediums when they did. They're in a position to finish this. What an absolute crock. One Wall of Champions, no SC. Excellent in the same play. Y'all upset. Y'all need to quit hating. Less hating, more baiting. Get to it.
I mean, for me, it's more like less hating, more bacon, because I'm hungry. But, as it stands now, I mean, to be honest with you, Folksy still has a chance to win the race. We saw that he was faster than Sam Brooks when they're both on the same sort of tire age on mediums. Now with a set of softs, is going to be potentially making those type of moves, and we've seen him and Albo battle out at the beginning of the race, making those very dangerous overtakes actually prevail. So I think Folksy still has a good chance of winning this race.
Yeah, we'll have to see we'll have to see how this goes. Let's see who start the race. 'Cause we're trying to fill dead air here. These corner cuts have been an absolute joke. Yeah, well, your name's Lazalbo, so you've been very impressive today, except for those corner cuts. Both you and your teammate come in. Y'all trying to push the limits, trying to make them cuts. Now, feel the wrath of the power of Canada. Nobody's ever said that before.
I've said it a few times for like hockey sports, but what's it called? Now we're gonna be looking at 3 laps left here at Canada. Sam Brooks waiting for him to punch on the throttle. Light says so. Looks like he lost a few positions in that safety car restart. Now towards the Wall of Champions. Sam Brooks is gonna go for it.
Different strategy.
Restart.
Different strategy.
It has prevailed.
Yeah, everybody else in the restarts had bundled up before the chicane. He waits until after. Good move here to get a jump start. Simster into second. Folksy, still fourth.
Oh, there we go. I was about to say, I just saw that there were still yellow flags all over the field. But
All over the field?
Yeah, I saw there.
Oh, we got one! Simpster! He's back in the track!
Oh,
and we got contact, Folksy! Folksy's out! Folksy's out! That's it! That is, you're going to hear from the stewards after that. Simpster went wide, cut across the track, took out Folksy. This is going to be Sam Brooks' race to win. And Simpster and Guelphy all have penalties. Owen is the lowest in the soft.
And Pigman goes right on the tail end of Owen into the hairpin and has crashed out. Now I'm looking at Owen with Pigman's teammate of Albo. Make the way down. We're going to look at 3 wide into the World Champions. But Owen is able to push his way into the podium.
We got nudging. Albo with the nudge. Gets it through. Brilliant battle here. Can Owen hold off the Albo? The Aldi still gets it.
We're out of breath here. Yeah. We're out of breath. It's taking our breath away with this extraordinary race. Pigman Man retires into the pit lane, settles for 14th. But now 2 laps left to go, and with Simpster making that mistake earlier on, right after the safety car restart, Sam Brooks has a very, very promising lead of 2.8 seconds, and that race win is going to be potentially his.
Sam Brooks, always with a methodical approach, never too aggressive, never too conservative, always plays it smart. Looks to be getting a well-deserved victory at Canada. I think he has one victory this year, I'm not sure. Lazabo trying to find his way around Owen. Owen also trying to find the way around Simpster, who's clearly going to be penalized. Probably will not finish. I mean, everybody's got a penalty except for Owen, Brooks, and Folksy. Folksy, just a devastating chain of events. Like the type of thing that would make me throw a controller or rage quit if that happened to me.
We have a stir in the mix. Sam Brooks now has a time penalty to his name, and we could be saying that Owen is going to take the checkered flag.
Let's take a look and see how far this was. 3 seconds, 3 seconds. So basically, they'd have to get a lot closer. And Simpster, what's going on here?
Albo, and Simpster.
All right, now Owen just sees a penalty. That's it.
Yep, Owen doesn't see the penalty, but now has to make up a second on Sam Brooks in this final DRS straight. Will not be having DRS though, and is going to be having to potentially defend against Albo. And we've seen that time and time again with Albo battling out with Folksy into the Wall of Champions. But Sam Brooks, even with the 3 seconds, is going to come across the line to take the checkered flag with the 3-second time penalty, and he's going to take it and win here at Canada. Owen has to settle for second.
Almost just screws it and hits the wall, but I think he did not crash. Wow, that's just, all right. Told you.
There you go.
Zalba, I don't know what's up, why you do you things you do, but you just took out half the field at the end of the race, and yes. So there's that.
Wow.
Sam Brooks with the held off here at Talladega, basically, because and it turned into a shit show here at the end. But so brilliant racing. Dylan somehow driver of the day. I think I'd maybe still give that to Guelphy. And here we go. We're gonna dance. Anyways, driver of the day. We'll have to see here in a second if that stands by. Disappointing run for Folksy.
I actually wanted Folksy to win that, but so unfortunate. One person that is currently in the podium for the time being, spraying the champagne, is going to be Simpster. But that incident on the penultimate laps is definitely going to go down to the stewards. He might be standing up on that podium right now, but when it comes to the race results, might not actually get it at the end of the day.
Dylan did start 20th, started last, and finished 5th, so that was a good drive. Guelphy, 10th to 4th, Panda Man, 18th to 7th, which I didn't even say his name all day. So there you go. Drunk Pirate, which is Captain Jack, 11th to 6th. But Sam Brooks comes home. Simster on that podium. We'll have to see if that lasts as he is in these points. Guelphy just short of the podium. Brilliant dropper Sam Brooks. Once again, Alpine with a solid run. Well, I thought, yeah. First and sixth for Alpine for the points. Anyways, says Feldman 9000.
Just Gaming or Justin?
Something like, yeah. Anyways, we'll see you next Tuesday for whatever race we go to next. I don't know what's on the calendar, but
for Prospect eRacing League, we'll be here back in Canada tomorrow for Tier 3. I should be there, but if not, we'll get someone else to cut in for me. But we also will be folksy, and we could potentially look at his point of view from the race here tonight. But of course, that's going to be it, I think, Feldman.
That's it. We are checking out. Like and subscribe, all that crap, and come back next week or tomorrow. Later.
Lots of love. Stay safe, y'all.